All right, I'm going to play some Tour 6, see if we can get some of the City Park holes. City Park, getting ready for the Liberty tournament. Just doing my pin chest here. City Park, hole 3, par 5. This will be an extra mile and a power 5 ball in the tournament, but no power 5 ball here in practice. It'll be a waste of a good ball. Let's see what I want to do here. What I want to do is take a Titan. I'm going to do a reverse hook. I think I want to go right. In that area right there. Do a reverse hook and just try and get out there as far as we can out into the rough. See if I can catch that fairway. That shot right there will give me a, you can you can go from the upper part. You can try and bounce off those rocks. I think I've only made it over with a Titan maybe one time. It's a difficult shot because you're getting too far. I suppose you could do not max curl on it, but it's a difficult shot to try and get over there with a power 3 ball on it. But I actually like my shot from the rough down there better than my shot from up here at the top. So I can get over with my Nirvana and get up into the optimal spot up there. Of course, it works better when you're not going against a 70-mile headwind. 2, 4, 6, 7. See how much power that puts me into. About 1 ring. Hitting it perfect. As long as I can clear that rough area and just kind of float up. That's probably going to put me in my long iron range. I think I was minus 10 to the cup here, if I remember correctly. Seems like it's a negative number. I'll try a minus 10. We'll see if we get this headwind. It's always funny in this game about how we got a 1.7 tailwind, then we got an 8-mile-an-hour headwind. And we're on the same plane. We're going in the same direction. So let's see if the wind changes again. That's my one of my bitches in the one-on-one is that why can't we have a consistent wind? If you're playing on a real golf course, I'm right at minimum club, so it's 9 times 1.6 divided by 1.75. Not much. It's about 8/10 of a ring. Very small adjustment. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get it in the cup. Just a bit outside. Yeah, I mean, think about it. In tournament play, they've standardized the wind. So if we're getting wind that's blowing in whatever direction, it's blowing in that same direction on every shot. I mean, that's fair. That's prevailing wind as the day goes on. But in one-on-one play, every shot that you take, the wind is blowing in a different direction. You want to do a different speed? Hey, it was a little gusty on the first shot. It's not as gusty on the second shot. I understand that. But it changing direction 180 degrees, that's typically a windstorm. And normally we don't play golf out in windstorms. In the hole, birdie. It's a tough hole to get an eagle on if you can't. You can make it up from down there, especially if you can get a little bit further in from where I was at and get into your short iron range. It helps out a little. But the best way to do it is to bring out a power 5 ball and try and get over. I'm not actually sure how many and snow globe balls work absolutely the best, and I'm not actually sure how many snow globe balls I have. I don't even know if I have 5. I'm still undecided. There's 2 of the par 3s that are going to be in this tournament that I have not decided how I'm going to shoot them. Whether I'm going to go right at them. Normally I go right at this hole with backspin. So I'd use a Saturn, or if you have a Grim Reaper that has more backspin, whichever has more backspin, your Grim Reaper or your Saturn. Backspin and ball guide. So if you got a level 6 Grim Reaper, it's probably better than your Saturn. And I've been trying to go from down here. I'm going to do a 50% wind adjustment. So I'm going to do 3, 4. See if that works. Hitting it perfect. And I probably needed to do a 60% wind adjustment. I've been working that shot from down there, and if you're going against headwind, I started off, I was just doing it. You're actually in mid club. So I did a mid adjustment and I was way off. And then I did a mid adjustment with like 10 or 20% and I was still way off. So then I went to a max adjustment with 20% and was still way off. So that was a 50% adjustment and I was still off. This is definitely a good luck. Let's see what ball they pull out. If they're gonna continue to use their Marlin, I'll switch. I'll stick with the Marlin. I'll play it with my number 3 bag. I really need to work out a max overpower hook shot on this hole. And I've worked on it several times and got it down, but I can never. You're way out there in the middle, and there's no like spot. 379, nice shot. I'll switch to a Marlin. Hey, switched into the number 3 bag. Wind's gonna push me that way about 2 rings. See if I can get enough. See if I got enough on there to get over to the other side without clipping the rough. I think it's gonna clip right there. I gave it too much. I gave it too much room for the wind. I got to get used to playing with that big topper. I just got my big topper to level 7. I mean, if you're playing rookie tournaments, you're going to get a lot of big topper because there's not a lot of epics. So if you think about the epics that are Tour 3 and below, you're going to get a lot of those epic cards. And I picked up a lot of big topper epics. I was able to get it to level 7 and get some power. So it's the 225. It's kind of like where the old rock used to be. Where the old rock used to be. See if I can get over there and end up in the flat out in the fairway. If I can make it over right there. At least give myself a chip up. Get in the hole. Got a 7-3 wind going from the side. That's a difficult wind to have to hit against. Just almost did the rough bump, which they weren't trying to do. Where am I at my club? There's min. There's max. So I'm eking towards min club. That's 2.0 per ring. That's 2, 4, 6. That's 8. And that's a 5% pull. I'm gonna do a 4-ring pull. Oh, hit it great to the right. Just a bit short. Close. Close. And a mile away. See if my opponent can get in. In the hole. Crowd goes wild. See if we can get one of the City Park par 3s. That would be ideal. I don't have the clubs that I want to use on 2 of them if I did the backspin. So I haven't been bringing the backspin clubs because I've been trying to try different shots on them and see what I can get done with the Grizzly. Part of the deal is that these holes, you kind of need more than what you get with a Marlin as far as side spin. We're both at the disadvantage here with the big dog and its limited ball guide. Now with tailwind, it should take very little topspin, like maybe half a bar. That's not going to get up. It's going to roll back down. It's going to be a roll all the way back down to the fringe. And goes picking up speed. Now you would think though, because it started up so high, that it would pick up enough speed coming down this, that it would actually roll completely off. But like that it would really roll down that hill. It takes very little topspin here. Five, 7. And it's a little less than 3 rings. And we're supposed to do, I think, a 10% wind adjustment. So I'm going to just do 3 rings. That's like a 5% wind adjustment. Hitting it perfect. Just a bit outside. If you've got headwind there, it takes a little bit more. You'll have to almost double up on that topspin. Good game. See if they'll replay again. See if we get some triple action here. Nope. No dice. Let's clear out some slots. Clear out some slots. You don't get club cards if you don't open up chests. That's the deal. Got a big topper right there. I'm always keen on getting those big toppers. That's one of the main reasons in level 3 chests, the big topper, the Grim Reaper, those epics that are down there, especially after they did the when they buffed all the cards before the club card trading, and then with the new advancements in the club card trading, but the buffs that they did on the lower epics, so that those clubs are usable for a very short period of time when you've got lower developed clubs. And then they get a big gap in the game where they're not super usable clubs, but when they get back up in level, they become very usable cards again. I'll continue to use a Marlin on this. If we get a big headwind, I'm going to need to be up there farther. I've been doing a layup in tournaments and doing a sniper rough bump. But if we have a big headwind and I use a marlin, I won't be able to reach it. So I'll put a little bit of power on it just to get me down there far enough so that if we end up with a big headwind, I won't have to contend with it. And I really don't want to take I'm going to take this right here. One ring grate on the inside, one ring grate to the right. Put me down there nicely in the shadow. That should give me either, depending on, that should put me in long iron range. Probably about mid long iron. And with the marlin, it'll probably put me more towards max. Somewhere in that neighborhood. If you can get in front, if you can get in front of that shadow, and you got a 3 power ball, you can get into your minimum or your maximum short iron range. The way that this hole used to play is this little area here where we can now do the rough bump was different, and it was as steep as this right here, and you didn't dare hit on it. But they've reconfigured it so you've got that rough bump available to you, so they've changed the options on this hole. I used to come at this hole exclusively with backspin. I'd bring a Saturn here and I'd try and get into my Saturn range. And you can get up here, and a Saturn has just enough backspin that you can try and backspin it in. I had some success on this hole, but it's never been one of those absolute. And I know there's a wind adjustment here, and I always get it wrong. I think it's 10%. So it's 8.2, that'd be 9. I have no idea where I'm at in my club. Where am I in my club? Yeah, it must be mid club. Yeah. There's 3, 5. I'm just going to move it that much. Otherwise, I'm going to run out of time. Got to get used to that grizzly because it's at. That's funny. That's funny, haha. Should have been 5.15 rings, so moving it a whole ring set wasn't too far off. But getting that run out was funny. I just need to hit it perfect and it'll get in the hole. In the hole! What I want to do is just play City Park holes and not have to go through all this other rigmarole on all these other ones. That'll give me 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So if I hit it perfect or great to the right, it'll go in. And I hit it great to the left. The only one that wouldn't go in. Good game. The crappy part about that is I didn't get a putt. No putt. Come on, dude. Come on, Dennis the Menace. Come on, dude. You have a much better chance of catching the holes that you want if you replay. Slice of Life. The Canada Club. City Park. Hole 5, par 4. What are we doing on this? Rock, Kingmaker, Hornet. I'm trying my rock. I want to do max topspin. I'm going to use a Titan. Ah, shit, it's not going to matter. I'm going to just use this. It won't make any difference. I'm going to go from this side right here because it gives me a little bit more room. I'm going to do 6 topspin. Where's that put me? Two, 4, 6, 8, 9, 5. I'm going to lean just a little. Hit a 1 ring great to the right. And that'll probably put me into the rough. Depends on the bounce right there. It's close. If you're on that hole and you're in really big headwind and you try and hit it to the spot that's on the right hand side, or excuse me, on the left, the normal spot where we're hitting out here, and you're going against a big headwind, if you bring out a bigger ball and you've got an extra mile, you can give yourself enough room in there. But if you just want to play with a smaller ball, you can come over to that area that I was at. In pro, when you're playing from the back tees, that's really kind of the spot. And you can see that trough. So the problem with that trough is when you start hitting stuff great to the left or the right, if you hit it great to the left, it hits on this hill face and it throws the ball to the right, and you take the risk of ending up in this rough. If you hit it great to the left, or excuse me, the right, it throws it great to the left, and you take a big risk of hitting that tree. But typically, if you catch the tree from that angle, you'll come out of it and you'll just land in the fairway right there on the back side of the tree. Where am I? Yeah, there's Max Club. There's him in. Weaken towards Max. I'm trying to do this rough bump. And it's really weird to set up. Four. I'm pretty close to max. I'm just going to do a 1.4 ring pull. I'm going to do 1.6. Try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. I know that it was going through it long, but I want to see how it rolls out of it. Took a little bit too much wind out, I think. I hit it fat. I've really been trying to do that rough bump, trying to get all the way over to the other side and try and come at it. But what I found is in order to get, because it wants to come out really fast, I'm going to keep working on that shot. I may be too deep into it. Because like normally I'd be like 2 rings into the rough. I might need to push it up so that I'm only 1 ring into the rough, or pull it back so that I'm 3 rings into the rough, or change that around, because you can get the ball guide so that it's going towards the hole, but it's coming out way fast. And so I found if you push it forward, you get it deeper into it up here, but you need a ball with more side spin. So it's going to be really ball dependent on trying to do that rough bump, but I'm at least trying to, I'm exploring some other shots on this hole. I want to at least like see what's available to me, because I never have the success on this hole that I feel like I should have. I'm always I put myself in the right spot almost every time. And I got the right ball, the right club. And I've switched balls because I tend to be in between mid and max club. And so that means I have to do a special adjustment, or I have to do a special number for that, or I have to add something on, or do something different. And so I've come at it with a Kingmaker, and I'm always in between it. And I came out with a Katana, and I thought, well, hell, if you're with your Katana, you'll be more towards max. And you are, but it's not all the way. And it's still, this hole, sometimes I'm on this hole and I make it, and sometimes I can go a whole tournament and not make it once. And I feel like I should be making it every time. Sometimes if you don't mix it up, Hammerhead 5. think one of my teammates just got a hammerhead to level 6. A hammerhead to me is absolutely, Playdemic's absolutely ridiculous with the hammerhead. I mean, of all of the epics, it goes up. I know like a Cataclysm and an Apocalypse. I mean, I'm in the Prism store getting those cards, and I don't think I've had a hammerhead one time show up in the last 6.5 months in the store. And the hammerhead is just not a club that I get cards for. I don't know if it's just me, but I know a lot of people that, it's not, they've got really good clubs, but the hammerhead is still level 5. And being a level 5 club, it should be a little bit higher. Now, that's another thing. We have to have that on there. Okay, 9, 9, that's 10, that's 10, 9. It's a big adjustment. 5. That's 11. Hitting it perfect. Just a bit. Didn't move it enough. Good game. Good game. Slice of life. Let's hit that rematch. No dice. Go back at it. How many we got? How much time we got? Now we got tons of time. Let's open up a chest. Just in case we get somebody who wants to replay, we always want to have as, if you're cycling through chests, I'm worried about the golds. My whole goal when I'm playing and I'm cycling through chests is to try and get 4 golds. If you started with no chest, you got to win 16 to get 4 golds. That means you got to open up 12 silvers. And at 20 silvers a piece, that's 240 silvers a day. $240 gems a day, and you're going to get a few. So let's say you only had to do 220. That's the deal, is if you've played this game for a long time and let's say you're playing during the week and you're playing, just to say you're only playing 5 days a week. That's 1,200 gems a week. On tournament week doing something different, that's some gems. If you're playing upper tours, you're also going to need a ball inventory. That's the stuff nobody talks about when they're going up. Oh, you guys need to be playing Tour 10 or Tour 11, or that's what you should be playing. Well, then, you know what? I've got teammates that are starting to play pro, and I will tell you that your ball inventory is going to go bye-bye when you start playing pro. I don't think I need all of the top spin. 2, 4, 6, 7. The wind out. I think I caught it all. Let's see if I got the right spot. Yep. It's on in 1 with a marlin. Now stick. There you go. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I know that you can do that shot with an extra mile 6. I remember the very first time I ever got on this hole. Of course, you have 0 ball guide, and the hole was different than the other side was different. This side right here is kind of the same. The green was actually steeper when it first started, which is amazing to say, but it was steeper when it first came out. But I remember the very first time I played this hole, I flew off the back of that and ended up in the ocean. That was a good effort. It's a tough hole to chip onto from distance. And it was steeper than that. And the cup wasn't in the hole. The cup's on a little flat area now. And it used to be, it was just on the side of the hill. Yeah, from this distance, wind might play a little factor, but I think I got that covered. Oh, not when you hit it 2 rings great to the left. That's all right. Let's be democratic about it. We'll go to a shootout. Maybe we'll get a City Park hole. Good game. Good game. Hopefully everybody had fun in the 9-hole cup. I actually had fun in the 9-hole cup. I didn't practice. I had very limited notes. I made some observations my first round. And when I did the walkthrough, I made some base observations. I really didn't have a lot of adjustment stuff and just went out and played. And I played just the 2 rounds. I got just a little bit lucky in the final round. I got lucky on hole number 9. I got lucky on hole number 9 because you're probably supposed to make a 10%, maybe 15% wind adjustment. And I went straight at it, mid club, and hit a great to the right. And the wind's blowing to the left. And if I would have made the wind adjustment, I would have missed. But since I didn't make the wind adjustment, I went in. And that's the hole that, because I hit 1 shot perfect into the cup and still ended up with a minus 14. The moral of that story is that you can go out, and if you're really working towards minimum score and you're just trying to put yourself in the right spot, especially on the par 4s, you can still end up with great scores. And if you're on one of those days where you can get a little bit going, can't remember the no move shot here. Seemed like that was it. 4-7. I'm gonna just wing it. Seems like we were a mid club too. So there's 4-8. And I hit it 700 rings straight to the right. It's going to be in front of the hole. It's going to be short. That's the thing about this hole is it's a crapshoot. I worked out a shot going down below, so you're going straight at the hole, but that wind right there would make me adjust over the sand. And I can't actually remember how to do the shot. Let's see if they'll rematch. No dice. No dice. We still got 4 more to go. Let's open up a chest. Get them rolling. Working on clubs. There isn't I don't know of any player out there that's not working on clubs, still trying to work on their clubs, wants better clubs. So that's the deal. City Park, hole 7, par 4. That's what I'm talking about. Now this hole here, if you bring a bigger ball, I think with what we have here, I'm gonna take this so that I'm coming at it with a big dog. And I think it's like 4 backspin, 4 right-hand side spin. Somewhere in that neighborhood. But I've made a bunch of shots on this hole with a big dog. And so you can do it. If you've got a better club like a Guardian will work good if it's got, especially if you've got a upper developed Guardian where it's got its distance. But with a smaller ball, probably better served with a, it's going to end up in the sand. Let's see if I can get, I don't really think that there's any benefit really to going over to the other side. Which one of these? I got a big dog on one of these. Let's go at it with the big dog. I won't try and get that far out there. It's 2-2, which is about a ring, a little over a ring. I'm going to have to put some curl in order to bring it back to the fairway. And I hit it great to the right, which is going to put it more towards the sand. I'm just trying to float it out there. It's better to use a ball that's got more side spin, and it's better to use a QB or a rock. Until I got my rock upper developed, I always took the drive shot here with a QB. Super accurate. It's hard to end up anywhere other than the fairway. And if I got my red line stuff right here, I do. So it should be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 4 and 4. So I only got 2.5 side spin with this ball. I'm going to go right at it. Literally right at it. It's a full wind adjustment. We're going against headwind. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Right in that neighborhood. Oh, 2 rings great to the left. Because of all of that distortion in the rings, I overpulled it. But a 2 ring great to the left, I left myself 2 rings of separation, and I hit it 2 rings great to the left. So I probably slightly overpulled it. I let my opponent back in the door. That's the thing about if you're using a club that has less accuracy, 2 rings is 4 miles per hour. That's 4 rings on that club. It's 4 rings. That's 4 rings on a QB. And 2 rings on an extra mile is 4.2 miles per hour. That's a lot. From this distance, wind is going to play a factor. Getting it perfect. We'll see if wind played a factor. We'll see if it gets in the cup. Wind did play a factor. In the hole. See if they'll replay. Come on, man. You got some banners? You're a player? Come on, dude. Come on, Usul. Usul from Dune. What do we got here? Let's open up that chest. We got 3 more to go. That's Duke Paul Atreides. Usul. Muad'Dib. He would not have been afraid to play again. He would have pulled some Bene Gesserit mind trick on me. Now, there is a shot that I've been trying to. I will tell you that this is an epic fail type shot, but I've been trying to work on this shot here. There's 3 different ways you can go at this hole, and this is one way that I've been trying to work on to add to the repertoire. A couple top spin, 3-5. I'm gonna do a 4 ring pull. No. 2 rings straight to the left. Da 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 da. And I've been trying to just lay it up out into this area. This keeps me on the flat plane up here at the top so that I have a straight in shot where I'm on the flat. And I don't have to do anything spectacular on the drive where I have to use any overpower. You can lay it up out here, or you can try and get it through. There's a gap right here, and you can try and get it on the other side behind the trees. This shot that's straightforward out here, I've taken this shot a bunch of times, and this works if you've got a hammerhead. This really works good if you've got a club that's got some ball guide. And you got to take it way to the right and then bring it back to the left if you want to try and stay up on the flat. Otherwise, you're trying to bring the ball onto the green where you're going up that hill. You can see the angle that they have on it here. So they got to bring it off from the left or from the right and then try and bring it in. I've taken that shot a bunch of times. Max club, max sniper, got tailwind, full access. Six, 4. There's 5. There's 6, 4. Oh, I need to sit square to my device. I'm sitting at an angle. It's jacking me up. I keep hitting 2 rings great to the left. I've got it off to the left and I'm sitting off to the right. I need to move it right dead center in front of me. There we go. I'm blaming it on my positioning. It couldn't possibly be my fault. It's an error somewhere between my stylus and my touchscreen. See if my opponent can get up there. When you're coming out like this, you're going up that hill and the ball is affected by that slope going up. So if you bring it over here to the left, to the right, and then use left-hand side spin, you can try and get it so that when it approaches towards the hole, it's up there on the flat instead of trying to engage it going up this hill. That is no bueno. Hit 1 ring great to the right. In the hole. Birdie. See if they can get it in and force a shootout. Come on, get in the hole. Let's get it all ready so we can just get the hole. I want them to get in the hole so that we can force a shootout. But if I would have spotted them a shot right there, inevitably they'd make it. And then we still wouldn't go to a shootout. And they should not have any wind here. So they've given themselves 2 out of 3 ain't bad. If they hit it perfect or great to the right, should go in. Nice shot. Nice shot. Where's my shot? Nice shot, man. Crowd goes wild. Let's get one of the City Park holes. Come on. City Park, some par 3. I don't care which one. Which way's the wind blowing? 9-9. Okay, so there's max club. So I'm at max club. It's 1 per ring. And I'm going to do like a 20% wind adjustment. So 9.9 times 1.2 is going to be 11.8. There's 5. There's 10, 11, 8. Hitting it perfect. Trying to stay down there on the bottom so that I'm not engaging that hill. was on track. Had my backspin wrong, but I was on track. The deal here is that if you engage that hill and anywhere on that hill, he'll be closer than that, or they'll be closer than that. Matt 07. I think I got it. I don't look at their stuff. They have ran that account. Matt 07 has ran that account up, and they've got the 1709. They're at pro right now, but at some point they were an expert rated player with that few amount of games. So they have not been working on their clubs and doing a thing. They ran up as fast as they possibly could to get to expert so that they could open up better chests. I think we have time for one more hole. One more hole. That's what cracks me up about the game is people go, yeah, but I'm playing somebody with 8,000 games. You ran yourself up to expert. I didn't force you to do it. You ran yourself up to masters, and now you're only going to play masters. The game is going to be harder if you've running yourself up. Let's bring out a big dog here. I have no idea what ball my opponent's going to bring, so I'm going to bring this bag right here with a Titan, the king of balls. I'd probably get more forward distance. It's pushing me up in that direction. Getting it perfect. See if we can get any forward, a little bit of forward movement. A little bit. Trying to get down there as far as I can. Trying to get past 400. With a 3 power ball, it's not really going to help me, but if I can get past 400, I might be able to get over to the other side and do a rough bump to try and get up in 2. A big topper would have netted me more yardage right there. And I do have a big topper, big dog bag. The problem here is it carries really far down in that hole, and if you use overpower, it's hard to judge how much extra carry you're going to get, and it's super easy to end up clipping the rough. Now, if you have a guest account and you've played up to 1,600, I mean, if you have a guest account and you've only played a few games, I get it. But at some point, you can name your account. It doesn't cost you anything. I have several teammates that have guest accounts that have had guest accounts forever. And I'm always curious as to why they don't name their account. Right. I can get up there. Can I get far enough up there? I'm going to do it this way. That's slim. That's slim. It'd be 3-3. So I'm going to have to put a little bit of overpower on it. Hit it 2 rings great to the right. I've got tons of room on the right as long as I put enough power on it. Oh, then I'll have a long putt. And for those of you that watch my channel on a regular basis, you know I'm not a very good putter. It's not my forte. So my opponent may not think that they have a great opportunity right now, but if they put themselves in a good spot and they give themselves at least an opportunity for a good chip, and they've got a pretty good shot. Pretty good shot here. They'll have a nice little, nice look at it from that distance. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. Eagle. I would have had a better chance at eagle there if I would have done the drive with the big topper and worked that shot out, because you'll net more yardage. And the more yardage you can net on the drive, what I really wanted to do on that second shot was a rough bump with my big topper. But I would have had to do, in order to get to the spot, I would have had to do a max overpower shot. If I had, 10 or 15 yards more, I would have been able to do that without using any max with a big dog. OP. That would have been good. Good game. How much time we got? 51 minutes. Not quite enough to play another hole. And what am I? I'm one short. I'll tell you what, I'll play until the video ends. So the video is just going to end, and we'll just play it until it ends, and we'll see if I can see if we can get one of these City Park holes, and maybe we'll get at least get a drive or something. And it'll just absolutely end in 5 minutes. Get the right hole. City Park hole 9, par 5. We might be able to finish the hole and not be able to not get the shootout. So we just beat them right here. Oh, 6-1 headwind blows. Literally. I'm going to use a katana. I'm going to use a katana. I'm working it out with my rock. I think I'm going to use like 2 or 3 topspin. I got to give myself enough room to be able to work the wind out, but I want to be 4 rings off the transitional surface down here. So like where they're a ring and a half off, I want to be 4 rings off that transitional surface. I'm working that. Usually when we're here, when we get this in tournament play, we don't get a headwind. Isn't it perfect? Let's see if they can get down in the cup. Get down in the hole. El perfecto. Nice shot. Nice shot. Let's see here. I'm going to switch to my number 2 bag. I'm going to switch to a katana. Okay, so there's my red line. So I need to give myself some distance in order to be able to pull the wind out. Max. I'm only going to do about 2 topspin. There's 5. There's 6, 5, 6, 7, 5. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if that was too much. Not enough, not far enough out, too much curl. It looks like it's going to clip it right there. In the rough. Too much. I needed to be like 4.5 rings out. Part of the deal is that I pulled it back and I wasn't at my red line. So that changes the trajectory. So I should have been like 5 rings out from where I moved it. It's good to have all those shots in your bag, especially if you're playing a tour on a regular basis. So don't be afraid to go out there and just dink around on some of these holes and try out stuff when you're going against different kinds of winds. Because normally in a tournament, if you like, because most of these holes I only play them during tournaments, so I don't get 6-5 headwinds when we're playing the tournament. It's only going to be during one-on-one that you get that kind of stuff. Stuff a little room. Hitting it perfect. See if we can get out there and give myself at least a chip to get up, force a shootout. Looks like it's slightly downhill. I might be in my wedge range. My max wedge is 1.3 per ring. In the hole. Eagle. Nice shot. Let's see what club I'm in. I'm in my Hornet. And I'm right at minimum Hornet. It's 2 per ring. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Trying to hit it perfect. Oh, I hit it great to the right. Great to the right. Da, 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 da. And win the hole. That means there was a wind adjustment there. I should have did like a 10% wind adjustment. I did like it was 9 miles an hour. It should have been like a 9.9. Should have been